this is my review of Death Note. Okay, so this episode opens up with a montage. So it opens up, the first half of the episode is a montage of all of L's findings throughout the first half of the series. From his initial introduction to Kira, to him slowly deducing who Kira is up until his death, where Light Yagami finally won. So, and all of it is recorded on L's personal computer, which Light is currently going through, and it's it's implied that he deletes it, although he states that he's actually transferring all the data to another computer, which is a lot, which I'm pretty sure is a lie, But in case, as he's doing that, the task force, the remaining members of the task force are going through the fact that L recently had a funeral, and although they've learned a bit about Watry, namely that he was a famous inventor and he used all the fundings from his patents to create Whammy House and several other orphanages around the world, they never actually learn anything about L. He just kind of was this enigma that they never learned anything about, and they just kind of disappeared before they could find out anything about his personal life. So L just kind of up and disappears, and there's no information on him. He's kind of a ghost at that point. But yeah, with L dead, the task force now comes to another conclusion. They believe they can't actually continue using the headquarters, since they have no idea, since they know that L and Watry are no longer funding it, so they can no longer actually keep it open, and they can no longer use it to their leisure, since L and Watry are both dead, and they were the ones in charge of it. So, and with them gone, it's probably just going to be shut down and just be a waste of space. So they're not entirely sure what to do. And they also have to figure out what to do with the Death Note that they found. And while Matsura initially volunteers to actually get rid of it for them, it's actually Soichiro who's volunteered to do it, and he agrees. At which point they ask Light about his thoughts, and at which point Light points out that he's actually been doing the full data transfer, which again is a lie, and he's also been remaking L and Watry's voice filters so that they can continue to poses them as fakes, so to keep it a secret from the public that L is actually dead. So, but with that, there's actually an inherent problem of who is going to replace L, and obviously the remaining task force members bring up Light, pointing out that that according to L himself, Light is pretty much the only person who could succeed him. And Light decides that he might as well take the mantle of L, and points out that he was not going to run things as riskily as L did, because it was because L exposed himself that he died. So he's going to try and operate more from the shadows like L initially did, and nobody has any complaints. Although Light remarks in his head that it's actually going to be a bit boring since it's way too easy without L, and a part of him misses the competitive side that he had with L. He misses being able to just balance his might against L's, and just give a battle of intellectual wits against him. Since L is now gone, he no longer has anything to do with him. He no longer has anything that he doesn't have anybody he can face off against anymore, so he's kind of just bored. But in any case, he also brings up the possibility that he won't be able to both pose as L and Watry while in the same house as his family. So he proposes that he gets his own apartment, which Soichiro has no objections to, since he's an adult. He can make his own decisions, and he can get a job and fund his own place. So he has no problems with that. And with that, the team decides to break, and later that day, Light meets with Misa and Ryuk, and Misa is a little bit upset with the fact that Light is so distant, pointing out it's their first date in a long time, and that he should at the very least be excited. At which point, Light proposes the idea that Misa move in with him and saying that he's already got his own place. And Misa's obviously very over the moon. And with that, the two are now going to be living together, which is exciting, I think. But in case with that, Light and Ryuk return to the headquarters, to the roof, and Ryuk points out that now that L's dead, things are most likely going to get pretty boring. And Light states not the case, as now with L gone, he can now create his new world. And sure enough, he begins writing in the Death Note while on the roof, and proceeds to kill as many criminals as he can, and while also killing off some of the criminals that he knows of, namely the Yotsuba group, Iber, and Wedi. The latter, and Iber's is particularly sad because he's found by his family just dead, slumped over in his chair, it's really sad. It's really sad. He had a family and now he's dead, and his kid just found his dead body. It's really sad, but it's Light. This is the kind of protagonist you guys want to support. It's Light. It's Light. He just murdered everybody he sees as a criminal, and Iber and Wedi are technically criminals. So yeah, they had to die because Light said so. But in any case, now that Light and L are one and the same, Light now has full reign to kill as many criminals as he wants, and he even joins the police task force. And in that time, L begins to Kira's killings begin to just skyrocket since there's nobody to oppose Light anymore. There's nobody that can actually stop Kira, so Kira is just free to kill as many people as he wants, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop him. But just as it seems like Light has actually won, it's revealed that Watcher actually set up one last thing in the case that he died. L and Watcher just set up one last contingency plan in the case that they died, which is that they actually send a transmission to the Whammy House telling them that L is dead and that they need to send somebody to replace him. So that's how it ends. So yeah, that's how this first half of the series ends. It ends with Light winning, quote unquote, but now he has a new threat that's going to show up in the next episode, as while he was able to kill unimpeded. That's not going to last. The Whammy House figured out pretty quickly that L is dead, since L was their golden boy. Of course they're going to replace him as soon as possible. And now he has to face two detectives who presumably are just as, if not more, smart than L. Probably. At the very least, they're the new smartest. So they're definitely going to be a challenge for Light to overcome in the coming episodes. But in any case, that's my review of Death Note. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to check this out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and also next time I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!